Warning, the following video contains massive spoilers. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hey, cinema lovers, we are Cinema Squad, coming at you with our Legends of Tomorrow Season 2, Episode 1 recap. Today it's just going to be me and Miller. Yeah, let's get started. Miller, how you doing tonight?
Good, how are you?
I'm great. What did you think of Legends of Tomorrow Season 2, Episode 1?
I close to hated it.
Okay.
It had fun moments, but nothing in the story going on I really cared about at all.
Right.
Which might just be this being that first episode, because I was getting into it by the end, so hopefully it'll get better, but we just have to wait and see if that actually happens.
I feel like this was almost a prologue to the actual beginning of the season. Like, this wasn't really, before Season 2 of Arrow, they did an hour-long episode called Arrow Year 1, which really was literally narrated by John Barrowman. And I feel like this was kind of doing the same thing, only it was an original story. Like, it bridges the gap between the end of Season 1 and the beginning of Season 2, which will actually be next week. At least that's the vibe I got from it.
Yeah, that's a good point. It really does feel like an in-between, but not an episode that would work as the finale, the actual finale, or just, as we got it, the actual season premiere.
Yeah, it doesn't really work as a premiere. There wasn't really a lot going on to make it interesting. I mean, it was basically three guys in a room, in the Wave Rider, talking, and the whole thing was a flashback.
Yeah.
And there wasn't really a lot of action in it either.
Yeah.
But again, it was getting warm for the season, and I really liked seeing the Justice Society at the end. And I'm glad that they're going full force with that right at the beginning of the season. I just hate that we had to wait till the very end of the episode to see them. But I'm still excited for this. I think that this has the potential of being a lot better than Season 1 was.
Yeah, I agree, because it seems like with the, or they started to, because I think when Legends got really good was when it got more focus, even though it kind of lost the focus, but it gained that focus back at the end of Season 1, and then they had the Justice Society, they had, what was the guy who came at the end of, what was his name, the guy who came at the end of Season 1 to...
Oh, Our Man.
Yeah, Our Man. They had him show up, and I'm like, okay, this show's really starting to find its footing, and then this just sort of more felt like it's trying to find its footing again, and they could have easily just had the end of the episode in a way be the beginning of this one.
Right, and what happened with Our Man? Because they don't ever mention him again. They mentioned that he told them not to go to 1942, and then they went to 1942 because they're fucking retarded. I mean, okay, man from future tells you do not go to this year. You immediately go to that year. What is wrong with you?
Yeah, I mean, this is you've seen some, they've seen some pretty out there stuff, so it seems like they totally believe this person.
Right. Well, and not only that, but they already spent some time in World War II in Season 1. It's like, are you really that? And that, I think that's going to be the problem with doing a time travel episode or a time travel series. I was kind of hoping that they'd get away from the time travel stuff after they defeated Vandal Savage, because it makes sense to travel through time since Vandal Savage is an immortal. But I kind of hope that they just do like a discount bargain bin Justice League series. And, they're going all in with the time travel thing. It's like Quantum Leap with tights. But the problem with that is every couple of episodes you're going to be going back to the same time period. You're going to stay going to World War II. You're going to stay going to the 50s. You're going to stay going to the 70s. And it's like, we've seen this.
Wait, so you prefer them to go to one time period and stay there for most of the entire season?
Yeah, I'd prefer that. I'd prefer them to... I mean, they could do like an entire season in World War II, which this one might be because the Justice Society is a big part of it. I don't know. We'll have to see. But they could do it that way. But what I meant was just send them back to 2016 and just have them be a team now.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I see that, but like I don't know. I just feel like it could really run out of like. I mean, it could run out of steam either way, but I feel like it could also really run out of steam if you're just having them be a superhero team, because like that kind of takes away some of the crossover aspects that like all these heroes are coming together in the modern world to take something down, and then with that it would just be like, oh, this group's already together, even though they're obviously going to be involved with the
No,
crossover.
I think it makes the crossover stuff easier because
Oh
the
yeah, it
way
makes
it
it
is
easier.
now, you're going to have to try and find some convoluted way for them to go back to 2016,
And
or
they
for
need
them to
to
need
insult
to, for
or
them to
Supergirl's in it
need
too, right?
to go back to 2000. Do what?
Supergirl's in it too, right?
Yeah, Supergirl will be in it, but her show won't be a part of it.
Yeah, okay. So I feel like I was thinking, because when I was watching Supergirl tonight, I feel like at the end of the Monday episode before the crossover episode, they're just gonna have her go into the, or they're just gonna have her it set up for her to go into where the crossover is, and Superman too, if he's a part of it.
Yeah, probably because that seems to be a thing with her show. Is every episode ends with, and a lot of comic books do this too. Every story ends with a tease for the next story.
Oh, okay.
So even though the episodes are for the most part standalone, they all end with that button that to be continues you into the next story. Heroes did the same thing because every season had a self-contained story, but they'd have a cliffhanger tease for next season.
Oh, okay. Wait, so why did I'm sure, yeah, there's probably a reason, but why did Haywood go to Oliver Queen specifically? Just because he knew he was a Green Arrow and he knew where to find him?
Yeah, probably.
Okay, because I was thinking like, why didn't he go to Flash? But maybe he just didn't know about everything going on with that or something.
And again, there's so much that they just don't explain. Um, and that's not to say it was a bad episode. It wasn't a bad episode. It just was unfulfilling in a lot of aspects.
It felt like to me like a lot. It felt like I was either watching the first, or it was like watching a show for the first time that's like in the middle of its season. Like it feels like there should be stuff that I should know about that they're just kind of glossing over.
Right, which and that's probably stuff that they'll explain later.
Yeah, it didn't feel like it was that done in that like clever of a way where they can, uh, or whether they can put it back, or they can reincorporate it later in a cool way where you're like, oh, that makes sense.
Right. Well, in the same way, in the same way, like this guy that that Oliver was talking to, you know, the new guy, as Mick Rory called him, he is going to be Citizen Steel, which
Okay.
I don't know why they changed his name from Commander Steel in the comics to Citizen Steel in the show, but that's who that is. So he's actually going to be a full-fledged superhero, but they don't show, they don't, you know, explain any of that. Like by the end of the episode, you get the feeling that, oh, he's just going to replace Rip Hunter as just like the non-superhero guy on the team. At least that's the vibe I got until I realized, oh, that's this guy. Okay.
Well, yeah, he'll probably serve. I feel like now that you mentioned that, he could be the Rip Hunter of the group, and then when they bring Rip Hunter back, they could just set up him having powers then, or
Yeah. So what's the deal with that? Is Rip Hunter gone, or is, I mean, obviously he'll come back, but is he being demoted to like recurring character instead of, you know, main character?
I don't. I'm not exactly sure. I took it as just like he'll maybe recurring until they bring him back like full fledged, and then he'll be a
Okay,
big
because
part.
I noticed he didn't do the opening narration either. Martin Stein did. Last year he was the one. Last year he was the one that did the opening narration. That's in every single show. And then this time it was Martin Stein. So I would kind of like the idea. I think of them rotating who does it every episode instead of just having like the exact same introduction. Like you could have the same words or similar words, but have them done by whoever's going to be the main character of the episode.
Yeah, that would be interesting. Because I think it really worked since the whole plot against, or the whole main plot against Vandal Savage was because of his family. So I think it really worked for Rip Hunter to do it last season. But I like your idea about having them do it because like it's just showing, or it's a way. I mean, it's not that big, but it's a way of showing like how integral to the, or like what role they're playing, or how integral they are to this whole team.
Right. Okay. So going forward, who do you think is your most anticipated character, either returning or new, that you're looking forward to seeing the most as the season progresses?
I did kind of miss. I don't know if it was just because I wasn't used to it, but I did miss. I did miss Captain Cold, him being there.
Yeah.
Because I think he has a good level.
Which he'll be returning, but he'll be returning as part of the Legion of Doom.
Oh yeah.
So I guess they're gonna steal him from a timeline before he joined up with the Legends, which I think will be a really interesting dynamic between him and Heatwave because Heatwave has had character development that Captain Cold no longer has been erased from Captain Cold's character, but also though Rory has seen Leonard Snart turn into the heroic character. They developed together. They grew as characters together. And so now he knows what's inside of Snart, but he has to still see Snart as the guy he was a year ago or 2 years ago, whenever. So I think that could be an interesting dynamic between those two.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Probably most anticipated character to see where they take him is probably Haywood. Just because I like seeing like someone new to the team, and I'm just interested to see what they do. Because he's going to be a hero, but we don't know exactly how they're going to go about that just yet.
Right. Well, I'm a big Firestorm fan, and I feel like Firestorm was kind of wasted as a character last year. So I'd like to see them do more, with Jax and Martin Stein as Firestorm and not just as separate characters, or they merge for the climax, but you mostly see them in the background fighting somebody else. The action was almost never on them, and they had an entire episode dedicated to the Firestorm character last year with the Russian Firestorm, but that was wasted because the Firestorm Matrix wasn't in him for that episode. It was in the Russian League. I'd like to see them do a lot more with Firestorm this year than they did last year.
Yeah, I think that I'm not sure who plays the actor who plays Jax, but I think he's really coming to his own. I really like him.
Yeah, he is, and we talked about how you didn't feel that Keenan Lonsdale's performance as Kid Flash in The Flash was very good, but he's another one that has really come as an actor. I mean, I really enjoyed him in the was it The Finest Hours that he was in?
Yeah.
Okay, so it was Asa Butterfield, I think, that was in the Moby Dick movie, In the Heart of the Sea.
No, Tom Holland.
Oh, that was Tom Holland?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I get those two movies mixed up because they're two boat movies that came out around the same time.
Funny that you say Asa Butterfield, though, because he was in competition with Tom Holland for Spider-Man.
Right. So yeah, I mean, I thought Keenan Lonsdale did really well in The Finest Hours, and I think that he's got good acting potential. I think he's done good in The Flash. I just think Kid Flash wasn't really written very well in the opening.
Yeah, because they kind of like throw Yeah, they just throw, like, Barry, you have, like, a natural progression. You see where he came from and what made him
Right.
so qualified to be the Flash and stuff. But, like, with that, you're kind of just like, okay, this is kind of it feels kind of out of nowhere, too.
Well, and I also feel like and again, this is a discussion about Legends, not the Flash, but I felt that in Flashpoint they were trying to make Wally West closer to the Wally West comic book character, um, because Wally West's Flash, Barry Allen's Flash was very serious and very conservative and very stoic, and then Wally West was basically Spider-Man with super speed. And I feel like they were trying to give him like one-liners and stuff, but that didn't jive with the Wally character that we knew all last year.
Yeah, that is true. I am getting tired of, though, going back to Legends, I am getting tired of Damien Dark, seeing him.
Yeah, I felt the same way because he wasn't an interesting character, and I almost feel like it literally went through my head, oh my God, please stop shoving Damien Dark down my throat. I don't care about him. Get rid of him. I mean, again, we'll probably see a lot of him, honestly. Well, he's going to be part of the Legion of Doom, so we will see a lot of him, which is saddening to me because he's not an interesting character at all.
Yeah, which is a shame because that actor is really talented because he was on
Oh,
Justified.
yeah, Neil McDonough is great. And he
Yeah.
was great as Damien Dark. Like, his acting was good. It's just the character, the way he was written, was just so bland.
Yeah.
And,
But, I mean, they
we're
gotta
gonna
have the whole
to deal
Sarah
with
plot
this.
come.
And we're going to have to deal with this, Sarah out for revenge because he killed Laurel crap through the whole season. And I feel like that's going to get tiresome. That's going to become that's going to become the new crusade. Like Rip Hunter's crusade was last year. It's going to be Sarah's crusade this year. And I feel like don't get me wrong, I'm excited because of all the new things that they are bringing to it, but then it also leaves me with a sense of they're going wrong in the same directions where Flash Season 2 went wrong, and they're just repeating what they did last year in a lot of ways. Not in every way, but in a lot of ways.
Yeah, hopefully the Justice Society of America will bring something new, but we just gotta wait and see.
Right. And I would like to see them. I don't know how feasible it is. A lot of people say you can't do Green Lantern on a TV budget. To that I say poppycock. I think you absolutely can, especially since Green Lantern CGI doesn't have to be photoreal like some of the other CGI. It's supposed to look a little fake because it's stuff that's not really there.
And they've done well with Superman and Supergirl, so.
Right. So I'd like to see them bring in maybe Alan Scott, if not for the whole season, then at least for a few episodes.
Well, they had do you remember that Easter egg of Hal Jordan on Arrow?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so, maybe that was just something to throw up, but maybe they have intentions to use Green Lantern or one of the Green Lanterns at some point.
Yeah, and I'm definitely hoping that they do because I really like the Green Lantern character. I'd like to see them use him a little bit more on the TV side. And, I'm really disappointed that he's not going to be in Justice League Part 1. So right now, for the next foreseeable future, that could be the only Green Lantern we're going to get.
That's true. Yeah, there was a rumor since, I think it was right after Arrow Season 1 ended, since Greg Berlanti worked on both, that they were going to connect the Ryan Reynolds Green Lantern universe to the CW Green Lantern universe.
Honestly, I'd kind of like to see that. It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
But I would like to see that just because, yeah, Berlanti worked on it and Mark Guggenheim worked on it. And I don't think Andrew Kreisberg worked on the Green Lantern movie. But yeah, I'd like to see it. And, Berlanti has joked, well, we still have Ryan Reynolds' phone number. Ryan Reynolds is not going to come do Green Lantern on your show, but
yeah,
but it would be nice. Yeah. And I didn't think the Green Lantern movie was beyond saving, to be honest. I felt like there were some major missteps, but I felt like they could have done a sequel properly that could have redeemed that version of Green Lantern, and they decided to just throw it away.
Yeah, because they weren't. Yeah, it's just because they weren't like that invested in that, and are like, okay, after Christopher Nolan finishes Batman, we'll see where things are.
Yeah, we'll do Superman because everything. It feels like Warner Brothers. It feels like Warner Brothers thinks that Batman and Superman are the only movies that sell.
Yeah.
And now that they're trying to build a Justice League, we're going to see them throw more stuff against the wall and see what sticks. But I'm a huge Superman fan, and I love Batman too. And I'm to the point where I'm just sick and tired of seeing the both of them. And I said this before, if we never get another standalone Superman or Batman movie and we only see those characters in Justice League movies, I'll be okay with that.
I would too, to be honest. I mean, besides like wanting to see what Ben Affleck brings to it, but
right.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I mean, obviously, I'm gonna watch these movies and I'm gonna hope they're good.
Yeah.
But I mean, we've got almost 40 years of Superman and Batman movies to watch. I mean, this is the Batman vs. Superman was the 8th Batman movie since Batman 1989, and it was the 6th Superman movie since 1978. So, and plus Superman has had 4 seasons on Lois and Clark, 10 seasons on Smallville. There's enough Superman out there. I want to see more Green Lantern. I want to see what they do with Aquaman. I want to see what they do with Wonder Woman. I want to see what they do with Flash, although I'm also quite content with the Flash we have on television.
Yeah. Do you think if Legends doesn't do too well and it ends up getting canceled, do you think they'd spin it off into a Justice Society of America show?
They might. I don't think they'll outright cancel Legends. I think they'll reformat it before anything.
Yeah,
I think they'll look at, because I mean that's basically what spinning it off to a Justice Society show would be anyway.
Yeah.
Because you wouldn't throw away all of the Legends characters. You'd keep the more popular ones from both teams and build your team there. And I feel like that's probably what they'll do. Like they'll cancel Legends and they'll start a new show. I'm sure they'll give it a new name, but it'll basically be, somewhere in between a spin-off and a reboot of the show that they already have.
Yeah.
Which I think that could be interesting. I mean, I'd like to see them keep Firestorm and Atom and maybe White Canary, because I love Katie Lotz, but I'm really not married to that character on this show. So if they just kept Firestorm and Atom and Vixen and a couple of others, we'll see who are the more interesting as the season progresses. But if they just kept like 6 or 7 of the best and spun off a modern day Justice League, Justice Society, whatever you want to call it, show, I think that would be. I think that could do really well.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like if Legends does tank, it'll just because people are getting sick and tired of the time travel.
Yeah, and just being the same thing again.
Right.
Because, I mean, with, Flash was the same thing again, but, I feel like, yeah, people are just more attached to the characters on that show, and just seeing where they progress, where, Legends is thought about as a more... I mean, it can be, but, Legends is thought about more just, for fun show. That people don't really think that much into.
Right. So, final thoughts?
Bad episode, but I think maybe that was just because of what they were doing with this, the story in this one, so hopefully it'll get better. We just gotta wait and see what the Justice Society of America can bring to the show.
Well, I'm not going to go as far as to say it was a bad episode. It was definitely mediocre. It was definitely lukewarm. It does, at the end, it does make you hungry for the next episode, so we'll see where the season goes. And hopefully they can do something that's a little more special and a little more superhero than last season, because I felt like there were a lot of times when I forgot I was watching a superhero show, and it just was a time travel show. And then every once in a while, Ray would put on his Atom suit, and he'd be like, oh, right, this is a DC Universe show.
Yeah, that's a good point. I never thought about that.
So, But yeah, all right. Well, those are our thoughts. Let us know what yours are in the comments section below, and if you think I'm a worse than Dylan, definitely let us know that.
Yes, let us
in
know
the
that for
comment
sure.
section below, and we'll tag the fuck out of Dylan in that. Again, leave in the comments if you'd rather see us do them episode by episode, or if you like doing it one big episode all at once. So, all right, thanks for listening. Check us out at cinemasquad.com. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter at cinema_squad. And check us out on Facebook at Cinema Squad. Thanks for listening and have a great day.